Hi everyone, I'm Jennifer. I'm really excited to be teaching this course. It is, to me, poetry is really so much part of life that I wanted to share with you this joy of being able to discover more about yourself and the world around you through poetry. So you might think about what actually is a good poem and why do I need to join a course or why do I need to learn about poetry? I think that poetry is something that is really within us. There are all these emotions, histories, feelings and ideas within us. And also the way that we look at the world, all of us are looking at the world in a unique way. We have our own unique story. We have our own unique perspective and we have our unique ways of storytelling, for example. And I think that poetry will take us there. Poetry can bring together a way of observing the world and a way of translating all those that are invisible onto the page to become a text. And very often I thought about what good poetry means and how it is like. I think, for example, I've always gone back again and again to T.S. Eliot, for example, the love song of Alfred Prufrock. The kind of unmistakable music in those lines, the sheer force in each measured or thoughtful word. So I think when you write a poem, if you start from a certain point, you will often end up in a very different, direction. And sometimes you have to trust yourself. You have to trust yourself for letting the poem take you to where it needs to be. How do you judge that? There's a way to kind of be more sensitive to language and learn to really appreciate how language can be crafted, how each word can be pared down to a simpler way of saying things, and also how to communicate to your reader, how to make your feelings heard. So sometimes, especially in poetry, it doesn't mean that the longer it goes on for, the better. Very often I find myself coming up with a long poem and cutting it down to a really, really short poem. And actually you get to say much more with those few words. And then the idea of playing with the line breaks, the kind of adventures that you can go on in rearranging the lines and breaking it up and deconstructing it almost. It's sometimes it feels like the way that we will choose the kind of colors that we will wear, the way we mix and match our clothes, how we can, make it new in a way. It's very exciting. So I'm really looking forward to, beginning this course and also sharing together as a group to explore how that can happen. I think through mutual feedback, we learn so much more about our own writing. We know our voice through the others. We learn from each other the very unique perspective that we have and the unique way of telling the story from each other. In this course, I will also go through lots of wonderful examples of what good poems are like, from more classical poems to very contemporary poets like Ocean Vuong and so on, and Jerry Graham. And I think no matter what sort of taste you have for poetry, we will be there together to celebrate and explore and rediscover the joy of writing, the joy of having that creative way of crafting our own narratives, the joy of editing the poems down to a really, really beautiful piece of art and making it publishable as well, to edit it so that you're really going to be very proud of your own work. That's what I would like to share with you.